Earlier today, I was talking about the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's outlet that gets millions of dollars from Dan and Ferris Wilks, two capitalists who have made most of their money in the oil industry. And now, just by coincidence, there's beef between two of the Daily Wire commentators, Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Candace, who happens to be pregnant, which will come into play later, said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. No one can serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money." And you could argue that Candace herself is serving money by working for a corporately funded outlet like the Daily Wire, but I digress. Ben Shapiro felt like he needed to respond to this tweet because he thought Candace might be calling for peace in the Middle East, and Ben does not want that. He has spent the last few weeks supporting everything the Israeli government has been doing and calling for more of it. So he said,
"Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means, quit."
And then Candace decided to ratio the shit out of him, saying, "You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion."
I don't know if Jeremy is the CEO of Daily Wire. He recently sent this out partaken to Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. If you don't know, I am calling on a leave of absence from my executive duties, Real Daily Wire, while overseeing producing. In my current capacity, I cannot fire Candace Owens. That is something Ben and I have in common, since he is also not an executive in the company and cannot hire or fire people. But even if we could, we would not fire Candace because of another thing we have in common, a desire not to regulate the speech of our hosts even when we disagree with them. Candace is paid to give her opinion, not mine or Ben. Unless those opinions run afoul of the law or she violated the terms of her contract in some way, her job is secure and she is welcome at Daily Wire. So you can see exactly what is going on here. I don't want to talk much. I will play some videos so you can see exactly what is going on. Then I will read out what Candace Owens said. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. And if possible, why not share out this video?
Okay, just so you guys know, this is definitely not the end of it. Tucker Carlson just released an hour-long interview with Candace Owens, which I will be watching right now. But let's look at what's happening with her and Ben Shapiro right now. So there was a bit of an escalation. When we left off, Ben Shapiro was saying she's a faux sophisticate person. She's got faux sophistication. And she's a disgrace. So let's look at how she handled that.
I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think the point in the video, he explains what exactly you did wrong and how you were wrong. I haven't seen it. But to call somebody, quote, absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step. And I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
You know, there isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks like it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was particularly speaking on. And in what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we disagree, or yeah. I don't think she's correct, or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks. Yes. I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
Has he texted you to apologize or explain or anything?
No, nothing. I haven't heard a single word. It just was sort of something that he said. And you know what? Ben and I have many disagreements, so I don't think that that's particularly something that's interesting.
So Nikki Haley, this has been noted online, but it's not her real name, of course. It's a pseudonym. And so she's not even using a real name and telling us that we have to register with the government under our real names in order to give our opinions. That's obviously contrary to the First Amendment. I don't know why the anchor didn't say something about it to her, but sort of nodded, oh, it's accountability. But it's fascism, actually. So, like, why isn't Nikki Haley getting laughed off the stage?
Well, Nikki Haley is someone that I would describe as radical. She's a
Yeah.
radical in this moment, and she's trying to present her opinions as not radical by hiding behind a terrorist attack, and it's not going to age well. So right now in this moment, people are like, this rhetoric is totally fine. You're going to look back in a year, and people are going to say, actually, this was kind of crazy. Some of the things that she said, she, in my view, has become increasingly radical every time she even hits the debate stage. I don't even know, what country she's running for president.
When I take a look at what Candace Owens sent out recently, after a little over a year of producing my podcast, I would like to clarify who I am and who I am not, the former of which I thought would have been obvious by now. I started my career being tagged as being an anti-black and self-hating for challenging the Black Lives Matter narrative and the lockstep commitment that corporations, politicians, Hollywood, and media had in fostering a hysterical illusion that no one had the right to challenge the movement because slavery. I didn't do this by telling the other side to shut up. In fact, I hosted Black Lives Matter both as an organization and an ideology has been fundamentally exposed and it is now recognized as fraudulent. This process took years plus more than a few good men that were willing to stand up to it lies, but it no longer holds any political significance, frankly, because it never should have, because Black Lives Matter destroyed lives and black neighborhood. It is stunning to me that people who applauded me as I stood up had conversations and rightfully critiques and continue to critique the flaws in my own community do not think that I should or will muster up the same courage to ask simple questions or make basic observations about theirs. There is no two-tier system in my mind. Your specific race, color, or breed does not make you above reproach. If you watch my podcast regularly, you know how many true this is. I love and hate all of you with equal measures. I didn't do this by telling the other side to shut up. In fact, I hosted the other side, billionaire chapter leaders and protesters on my various platforms, and I flew out to Atlanta and stood on stage with T.I. and was disrespected for my unique stand at a hip-hop conference. I was similarly disrespected on the world stage by Ben Shapiro during a stand-up he delivered following the death of George Floyd. When you take a look at what Candace Owens is sending out here, it is to link to what is going on with Ben Shapiro. She has been there, like expressing her views, like killing innocent people or killing people in these places is not good, and condemning this is not right to Ben Shapiro. Candace were attributing this because that time I saw Ben Shapiro supporting her, doing a lot of videos, going off on Black Lives Matters, having opinions. But when it now concerns this issue, it's like Candace Owens should not have opinions because she disagreed with him, which to me, it should not be so. You should be able to speak up your mind, even at all times. When they talk about free speech, it is not selective speech. Free speech, sometimes you should be able to give opinions, likable opinions, even if you disagree with people. This is just a similar thing with Crowder. Crowder did not want to be controlled by these people, and at a third point, a similar thing is coming out here, which to me it is disgusting. So it is high time people realize, allow people to speak up their minds.